Welcome back into Delphine's Handcrafted. I'm Deborah.
I'm Jasmine.
And we are here for another podcast. So the very first thing we normally talk about in our podcasts are our goals that we had from last podcast to this podcast. And I remember that my goals had to do with working some more on my mosaic blanket that I really wanted done by the end of last year, but it is driving me crazy in the section I'm in. Only that section. The rest has been great. It's this section. And to work on the hybrid knit along and to work a little bit on my sweater. I don't know if I had any more.
Well, I do not know.
I don't think I had any more goals because it's more of a, like, I need to get some things worked on that's already been being worked on.
I don't remember what I actually said in the video, what my goals were. I remember zero of it. I think one might have been, which I usually write it down, but I forgot to write it down. I think one might have been to work on the hybrid knit along that was coming up, and I succeeded in that. But I made it my goal after the video to, like, try to get some stuff off, like, finished. Or work towards finishing things that had just been kind of sitting there, not being touched.
I know you mentioned the boys' sweaters, but you said you'd work on them, but you weren't, like, trying to, like, get them done that rapidly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
All right.
I might have also mentioned trying to work a little bit on the advent calendar.
Yes.
Project as well.
So we'll watch out for our WIPS and finished objects and see how we did with the goals. Next, we usually discuss finished objects. Do I have any? I don't. Do you?
Oh, I do have one. I finished my... It's either Musselburgh or Musselburgh, and I never remember how to pronounce it, but one or the other from Isolde Teague. I finished it. I think I had like 4 or 5 more inches to go last time before I could start decreases, but so
it's very pretty.
It's in the color, I think, Plush Blush from the Yarn Bee hand dyed thing in a fingering weight, whatever that one is called. I think it's in the color Plush Blush.
It's very pretty and soft. Looks nice on too. Any other finished objects?
Nope. But I also made it long enough to fold up, which I don't normally do because I normally get tired of doing stockinette stitch after that long. So I just...
guess we could talk about this being finished, but then we'll talk about this briefly. You want to get yours out?
Well, that was technically in my WIPS because I didn't finish the second one, but I can get it out.
I don't know when I'm going to finish the second one. It's not on my priority list. Okay, so a little while back, I did this short on what am I using this yarn for? What is this yarn going to turn into? So this is the Magic Sock Wool, one of them from Hobby in Denmark. And Denmark. Am I saying that right?
I don't know. I don't remember where they
Anyhow,
are.
it's the Magic Sock Wool. It's very nice. I believe it's single ply. Nope, maybe not. But it's very, very nice. Very nice to work with. But I had posted this and said, what are we going to do with this? It's a surprise. Well, the reason it was a surprise is because Priscilla from Distinctive Crochet asked Jasmine and I to test knit a sock for her that she had designed, and we couldn't really say anything about it until she put her video out. So we both test knitted it's like a tube sock that she designed. So this is what mine, I only have one made. I made it for her test knitting. I will make the other one, just haven't gotten to it yet. So this is mine. And we're going to do a separate video on this to show it off a little bit more, but it sort of looks, there's like a lace pattern in there. So that's mine done.
Which yours
for
looks a
test knitting.
bit different than mine because I made the choice to block it on a sock blocker because I don't usually wear tube socks, so I wanted to wash it and block it on a sock blocker before making the other one to make sure it was actually something that my foot could I could wear comfortably. So mine looks a bit odd because it's been put on a sock blocker, but it also doesn't show very well because it's black yarn.
Yes. So
I used leftovers from previous socks that I had made because all of my socks yarn essentially is all now self-striping. So I used leftovers from this is a Patton's Croy sock yarn, and then the other one, like this green one, is leftovers from socks that I made her using the bamboo stripes sock yarn from Mary Maxim.
Yeah. So even though we only had one sock done, I count mine a finished object because I needed to get that done for Priscilla, and she got it, and she's put her pattern out. So we will be doing a separate video on that because there will be a giveaway that goes with it.
Yep.
All right. Any other finished objects?
No.
I think you said no. On to WIPS. Would you like to start?
Well, that was that I was counting as a whip because I don't have the second one done, but that was whip number 1 for me. Because I had made the choice to try to finish things that I had just been leaving sitting there for a while. I went back and looked through the project bags that I had just shoved into a corner, and I found these socks that I started ages ago, and I made the decision to just frog the one because I didn't remember the specific stitch count or anything that I used, and I also didn't love the fabric. So I decided to frog it and re-knit it with a slightly bigger gauge. And it's this, and it's using... I finished a whole sock. One whole sock. I didn't get to the second one yet. It's using the Yarn Bee Cozy Toes in the color Mermaid Eyes. But... yep, I re-knit it on US 1.5s instead of US 1s because the US 1, it just made a very tight fabric.
Yeah, I feel like these Cozy Toes are thicker.
Yeah, it was like the kind of fabric on compression socks rather than regular socks, so I wanted it a slightly looser gauge.
That's pretty.
Yep.
How many more WIPs do you have?
3.
Alright, so the one WIP I've been working on, and this really is an overall goal of mine. I will be adding more things into what I'm doing, but right now, there's just some things I just need to get finished. So this is my sweater, which is huge, by the way. I finally tried it on. It is absolutely huge. And I found out it's because my gauge loosened up as I went, but it's just going to be a big sweater. I could literally put this thing with a belt around it, and it'd be more like a tunic.
Yeah, you said it was 10 inches or something.
Well, I think it's about 12 inches too big. But before, so this is from the underarm on, and before I had about this much done. So I've done this much more on it. I think I need...
yeah, you've been working on it at least a little bit every day for the most part.
I feel like I need 7 more inches for it to be to the bottom before I put the, maybe not even 7, before I put the... actually, I think it's 6. The last before I put the
the
ribs, the ribbing, yes. Before I can move on to the sleeves, yes. So it's getting there. Honestly, it hits my waist at this point, but there's no way I'm going to stop there because it is so big. I'm just going to have it go down further.
You could make just a really big sweater dress.
I'm not doing it. I already said that to you when you mentioned it.
I just said you could.
That's taken me long enough as it is. But I am still enjoying the fabric that it's making. And Jasmine always, like, she keeps saying that
it keeps making me want to work on the sweater that I want to make with
that same yarn.
In a different color.
Yeah.
But I keep saying no because I have too many things on my needle.
But if as big as that is, if I had used a smaller needle, used less stitches, got better gauge, I don't know. It would have probably been done by now.
Yeah.
It is huge.
Yeah.
It is huge. But I love it, so I want to keep it, and I'm hoping I can make it work to make it look right rather than just trying to give it to a bigger person. There's no way I'm trying to rip that thing out. Yeah, so that's my sweater. It's moving along. Every once in a while I just pull it out and go, that's what I think I'll work on right now. Because it doesn't take a lot of thought. It's just knit, 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 knit. Over and over and over.
Okay, well, my third whip, or second, depending on what you want to consider a whip. I started these and then ripped them out and then restarted them, and I still might rip them out and restart them again because I don't do color work usually on, well, first of all, let me just say what it is. It's the Pieces of Home mittens, which is also a free pattern, and I think I originally wanted to make them because I think it was some, like, Bakery Bears that made a pair last year, I think. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. But I think it was them. One of them that made it last year. And I thought the pattern was pretty, so I wanted to make it, and it's a free pattern. So I started them, and I don't usually do color work on magic loop, so my gauge is not very even throughout, but I also just have yarn just hanging there. But it looks like this so far. So that's the front, and then this is the back. Excuse the yarn ends. It was my first time doing Latvian braids though, which was easy but annoying because the yarn just gets wrapped around each other. But it's a fun pattern. I like it. I just might restart it if I think I'm going to just finish one mitten and then wash it and see if it evens out a little bit after washing it. And then
what yarn are you using?
I don't know what it's that sock yarn that we got from the last sock yarn box. That wasn't in a box, it was in a bag, but from that thing that just closed.
Oh, from Knit Crate.
Yes, that. And then like a random Hobby Lobby yarn that was just sitting around. Which technically that sock yarn that, what is it? Is it like Uru or something?
Yeah, I always say you are you and you call it Uru.
I don't, you are you, whatever. Uru is just what my brain decides to say whenever I see it, so that's what it's, oh, I do have it. This, I think it's because of the word guru, and so whenever I just see that, my brain just like thinks this. Which it's technically a sport weight, but it was like giving me the correct gauge. So I just decided to use it, and it's working fine with the other one. Outside of like the,
is that the first You Are You Uru yarns that you've knitted with?
Yes.
How's it doing?
It's good. I like it. It's soft. It has yak in it, which is interesting. I've never knit with yak. Not that it has much in it. It's like 10%, but still. I like the yarn. I'm getting gauge on it. It's just that my color work, some sections are a little funky. But the part on the back where it's just like pretty much like every other one, it's fine. Like the gauge is perfect on this. It's just some of the where I'm like, I have a harder time on magic loop. I don't, that's what I originally wanted to do it on DPNs, but I don't have DPNs in this size needle, so I'm stuck using magic loop.
Okay. How many more WIPs do you have?
2, including the one that you also have. Do you want to? I'm now down at the bottom of the bag, so if you want to talk about that, we can talk.
All right, I'll just talk. So the other WIP that has been the bane of my existence for a while now is my cottage core blanket. Now, I have loved this cottage core blanket up until this section. You've heard me talk about it before. And it's because I was silly enough to decide to use many different colors in this section to make it look more realistic. And some rows I have 4 or 5 colors going across at one time, and it is 42 rows long. So I am to this point on this. I did work on it. It's hard on my hands at this point. Can you just, yeah. So here's what we got. Up until I was up to maybe here last time. So what we have is a house, a tree, and by the way, I'm getting tired of carrying many different colors, so I've decided the roof on the house is going to be the same as the tree. It has started, on this side, you can't see it very well here, but there is a chimney coming up with a different color, and I didn't want it to be all brown, so it's like a burgundy, so it's just sort of slightly different. What is still to come is the rest of the tree, the rest of the roof, finishing this chimney, and some smoke coming out.
Are you halfway yet?
Yes. I believe it's 13 more rows to go. Gosh. So let me tell you, this is taking me forever, and it's all because of all the different color changes. And this is very wide. I mean, it's a wide blanket. It's like house after house after house after house going across there. So
you got a whole street.
I cannot wait to finish this section because I have loved the cottage core blanket, and I don't want to not love the cottage core blanket all because of one section. I like that the house is there. I sort of wish I had made a different color roof because Jasmine had a comment about it yesterday.
Okay, but on camera it looked better. I think I just saw it at a weird, I think I just saw it in a weird way yesterday.
So it will get, when that section gets finished, I'll be able to finish the cottage core fairly quickly, except for the border. The border takes forever on them. But I think there's only 2 or 3 more sections at that point, and they're not huge sections. So not worried about the rest of it. I just got to get through this section, which is the bane of my existence right now. But I am glad I worked on it almost a whole day the one day. Maybe half a day. I worked on it quite a few hours. Oh yeah, and then many hours.
You complained about your hands.
Yes. My hands, I think I'm getting arthritis in my hands pretty bad, and my hands were just really, really in pain after that. And it's a heavy blanket, so that doesn't help. Like the crocheting itself, it's really heavy because it's basically double thickness if you think about how you make a mosaic, and then you have
and it's
sometimes
also
4 or 5 yarns.
4-weight yarn.
Yeah, and sometimes you have 4 or 5 yarns traveling through there, whether you're using them for every stitch or not. It's still adding.
And you're using acrylic yarn, which at least to me feels heavier than. I don't know. I've never looked at amount of yardage for acrylic versus wool or something, but it feels heavier to me. Which, granted, might just be...
It'll be a nice warm blanket
in my head.
But or throw, whatever it is.
Okay, well, I have a cross-stitching and then the knitting thing. Do you want to talk about this so it's just all knitting together? Okay. Okay, I also have made a goal to work on my cross-stitches more this year. So, I've done quite a bit since the last time I showed this. I think I've gotten at least 1,500 stitches in since there's one piece of cat hair on it. I think I've gotten at least 1,500 stitches since last time I showed it, but I don't know. This is my Doctor Who cross stitch so far. I've got a whole part of a silhouette done.
Mm-hmm. And what colors are going to be here?
It's just kind of like a this still down like this. This is like a beam of light type thing or something. I don't know. This is what's his name? It's like William Hartnell or something. Doctor, is that his name? Something like that. I don't remember. The very first Doctor, though. I like it. I'm having fun with it. My goal is to get at least one page finished. Which is this page, finished this month. Like by the end of January, I would like to have this whole page finished.
Okay. The next WIPs that we're both working on are for the hybrid knit along, and we decided to just talk about it in our podcast rather than having a separate video on this at this point. So hybrid knit along with Stephen West, hybrid knit along 2022 it's called, because it started December 26th. I don't know if you remember when we did the other shawl, we both really tried hard to stay, yes, the MCAL, and get it done by the time it was supposed to be done. Now, I don't really think there's an end date for this hybrid knit along. At some point he will stop asking for people to share theirs and things. You can always share them, but like
I think it's at the end of January or something.
Yeah, we're taking as long as we want to take on it. I am not going to.
No, I'm not rushing myself.
Making this,
I would have preferred to have it done this month, so I would have preferred to have it done this month, so at least I had a chance to wear it in winter when it's actually cold. But I don't know if that's happening.
I'm not worried about it. I have too many other things I want to do, and I need to get those other things. Like, I need to get this cottage core blanket done, so it's just I don't have to think about it anymore. But Jasmine's a little further along than I am.
Oh,
I
goodness.
did. She has not shown hers at all, have you?
Oh, goodness. No. What is going on?
So I did a little video on mine. I think it might have been even a short that just showed the yarn again and showed the beginning, which was, I think it was only like up to like this section right here. Maybe sort of like that middle part here. It's a lot of work and it does take a lot of time. I think it's beautiful though. But are you going to show yours? Or?
Well, I'm trying.
So I'll show mine first. Let me disconnect.
I have yarn just
needles
everywhere.
So I can actually pull it apart instead of. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm not losing stitches.
This is
here.
also, I don't think we've said, this is the Aurora Cabin Shawl.
It's called the Aurora Cabin Shawl. It uses 5 different colors.
And we're using a chick that knits single ply yarns.
It's getting to the point where I can't even like cover. It's covering more than needles. Okay.
Yeah, mine goes off the needles if I push too much.
So this is mine. Can you hold that side? So this is mine so far. Sorry, it's attached to yarn. Jasmine's is probably attached to 5 yarn.
It is attached to 5 things right now.
At some point you're having all 5 colors. Not on one row, but
you only use one color for like each row, but like you have multiple colors attached.
Yeah. Oh, so this is what it is so far. I have, did I say 6 more rows of this part to do, and then I'll be back to the next part, which you probably will be able to see from Jasmine's. Liking it, definitely liking it. I'm trying to stretch it so you can actually see the.
Maybe get it closer.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like so far. You have that center part that's sort of the same as this. It's just that you're using different colors here, and it has all 5 colors. I don't want to hold it up. Then these sections here, I think when they're blocked you'll see a little better, but yeah, I'm liking mine. Mine looks completely different than Jasmine's.
Oh goodness.
It's they look the same, but the colorways, it's amazing how different it is. Now the ones he shows are like orange and brown, and then the other one is blue. Like a blue one. Yeah. I definitely like mine.
So mine's going to be harder.
Save my needles here before I lose stitches.
Mine's going to be harder to show because I have so many stitches that it has to be scrunched together to fit on the needles, because one, I don't have a bigger cord available, but also I wouldn't want to switch over the cord because it's knitted flat. It's not bugging me that it's scrunched together, but it's making it harder to show. It's like a 30-inch, so 38-inch with needles on.
I thought whenever we ordered, you said you had enough. You had a big enough one.
This is the same cord that I used on the other shawl.
Okay. And this is going to get bigger and bigger.
I'm just saying it's scrunched together. This is mine so far. It looks a little more washed out on this screen than it actually does in person. So it looks like that.
So as you can see, the top here, she has started basically this. I think I'm pointing to the right part. This pattern repeat here is up here, except the very last part that you do before the pattern repeat is add a bunch more stitches again. So it's huge. It is absolutely huge.
I have like 300 something stitches or 400 something. I don't remember. I have a lot of stitches on it. And ordinarily, like in a circular thing, I wouldn't be as bugged by that, but because this is knitted flat, purling, like I have an injured wrist. I've mentioned this so many times before. My wrist was injured a few years ago, and it still gives me problems, and so purling hurts my wrist, and repetitive purling just causes my wrist, like I can barely move my wrist after doing it for too long of a time. So I've decided to teach myself, and I've been doing this instead of having to purl across the row. I've taught myself how to mirror knit. So I'm not, instead of purling as you would across the back of a garment, whatever you're making, to get like stockinette stitch, I've been just not turning the thing and just working across this direction. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The opposite direction. So I
just wanted to show, I am using that little, we had gotten this off of an Etsy seller, the needle holder thing that's on the floor. It's that thing where you push it, sort of like they do at the end of like ties or whatever on things, and you push it and you hook your little needles in, and it is working amazing. They're not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. If I yank on this, it will, but yeah, it's doing a really good job. That's how I'm keeping my yarn from falling off the ends. But if you watch one of our other videos and see that, you'll see the link to the Etsy seller that sells those. They work really well. All right, that's the end of my WIPS.
This is also the one with I'm using the yarn with, what is in it? The shiny stuff.
I'm waiting for you to hit that and push them off. The shiny.
I'm holding them on, but okay.
Oh, it's the silk.
Silk, yes.
Yes.
I couldn't. My brain was only thinking satin, and I'm like, I know it's not satin. Silk. That's like satin's not the word. But I'm using the yarn with silk in it, and I'm enjoying it. It's nice. It's soft. The added shininess, I think, looks cool.
It's not exorbitantly shiny.
Well, I know, but like if
like
you look at yours compared to mine, like it definitely is shiny compared to yours. Like yours is like,
I'm loving these yarns.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
I will say that I am using a size needle down than what he recommends. And if you watched us with the make along for the other shawl that we did with Stephen West, mine had my gauge was so different, and I was so afraid of running out of yarn because I was using so much more yarn than Jasmine. It was much looser. Even though I did a gauge swatch at first, I didn't even do one this time. I just used a needle size down. Looks about the same gauge, doesn't it? They're looking about the same.
Yours is a little tighter than mine.
Yeah, the flow is good and it's working for me. And he did say he didn't have much yarn left in any of his colors, so I was not taking a chance. I went down a needle size and it's fine. It's not too tight or anything. It's definitely
Which my
good.
gauge might have loosened a little bit when I started doing the mirror knitting
Yeah, I think
to avoid purling. So
yours might actually be tighter. With me using a size down needle, it is not seeming to be much difference in the overall size for the section part that I have done up until where she's done it.
Whenever we compared it, whenever we had like the same amount done, mine was definitely like a little bit bigger than hers, but not like any significant amount. Granted, by the end of it, it might be a little more significant, but
that's okay.
Like it's not like yours is like minuscule in comparison.
Especially since Jasmine's so tiny and she'll have a humongous one and I'm bigger, I'm taller at least, and yeah, I'll have a normal size one. No, his shawls are huge, so it's not going to matter if it's a tiny bit bigger or a tiny bit smaller.
Yeah, no, if anything, I should have gone down a size in needle just to, except I don't have a needle down a size because all of my needles are in use right now, essentially.
Yeah, so we're really enjoying this, I think. It's big, it's very long rows. Jasmine's are much longer than mine right now, so this is not something I'm gonna rush.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I just know it's going to take a while because I just do not have the time to be only working on this and getting nothing else done.
Yes, and that's not what I'm going to allow to happen.
I would like I already did that during the MCAL because I wanted to make it a priority. But I do not want to do that here because I would like to actually get some stuff off my needles because I have the issue of all of my literally I don't have a single cord that's not in use right now. I just keep having to take things off and put them on like spare yarn or like one of those cord things that we got.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any cords and all my needles are in use, but the needles are easily taken off, but the cords are a whole other issue. So I just need to clear off my needles.
Yes.
Some at least.
So that's our WIPS. Let us know if you're doing the hybrid knit along and how it's going. I've been trying to check out how people are progressing with it.
This is definitely more to my taste than the twists and turns. Like style wise. Like I prefer this.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't. I enjoyed doing that and I liked the surprise. It's just like that wasn't like looking at the finished project a product. That wasn't something that I would ordinarily like purchase as a pattern.
Right.
This is more mine.
And a lot of this is just pattern repeats at this point, except that you're switching up the colors on the section here.
Well, this isn't repeated. The next section is something else.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
With different colors.
Okay.
But I am enjoying it.
Yes, me too.
And I love this yarn. It's so soft.
And I think the part of enjoying it is to not make ourselves do it when we're not forcing ourselves to do it when we're not in the mood to do that.
I mean, like I said, I would love to have it done this month. Because I would love to actually be able to wear it when it's cold. But at the rate I'm going, I don't think it's going to be done this month, and I'm not going to be.
It's not that thick though, so like, I think even going into spring, as it still stays chilly.
Well, yeah, but I have I have an issue where if my body, and I think if my body overheats or gets too cold, and then I get rashes. So I don't want to get rashes by wearing this if it's not cold enough.
There's our rips.
I overheat
Making some
easily.
movement on some past things. Okay, what's next? Acquisitions?
Which is just that one thing,
So
I believe.
the only acquisition we're going to share, because we did some other videos on other acquisitions, our Temu and our hobby yarn. So we're just going to share this for acquisition part. Now, this yarn came from Vero at Vero Crochet Adventures, and it's a Mexican yarn, and she's selling Mexican yarn. She's I forget what, I'm going to say dealer, but that doesn't sound quite right. She's a person that is allowed to sell their yarns here. It just went in my head and out of my head what that's called. But anyhow, you can't really get these yarns for the most part in the United States unless you get them directly. Like, you have to get them from Mexico. And they're all cotton. They are different
Mercerized
weights
cotton.
of cotton that she has. And they're different types, but they're all from the same company. So this yarn that I did get from her, she was sort of doing a sale on
a live
that was through the Yarny Fiber Sisters,
which had a lot of pretty colors.
Yes, and tons of pretty colors. So I was really restraining myself and telling myself not buying any. I really didn't need to buy any yarn. I didn't want to buy any yarn, but I would like to try it. Now, we got the
Trigo.
What's it called? From Hobby Lobby.
I don't know.
Yeah, we just showed it the black and white stuff. I can't think what it's called. There's a kind that she sells that Hobby Lobby was selling, and I keep hearing that they're not selling it anymore. We have still seen it there, just like one or two colors, and they're like plain colors.
You just give me a hot sec.
But I keep hearing on other people's lives they're not selling it anymore.
Symphonia?
Yeah.
Plus,
so it's the Symphonia.
Something like
so I don't know if it's just our Hobby Lobby still has some and they're still putting it out there without it being on clearance, because we have still seen it, but we're hearing that they're not selling it anymore. That is not what we got. We got the Trigo, which is 100% Algonquin Natural. I don't know. Do you want to explain?
I don't speak Spanish. It's a cotton. It's 100% mercerized cotton.
Yes. So it's a tiny bit of sheen to it. It's 100 grams.
What?
3.52 ounces, 295 yards. This says it's you would use a size 3 knitting needle, or 2 to 2.5 US, or a D3. I don't know what 2 and 2.5 is, but
it's millimeters.
A D or a 3 US for crochet hook. I just loved the color when it came on. I was like, oh, green, there we go. Jasmine loves green. It's very pretty.
Would that be like a sport or a DK weight? I think it's a sport.
Yeah, I think this is probably more of a sport. We were actually looking at some of this last night on another live. I think it was Yarny Fiber Sisters. It's not wanting to. There we go.
Verde Pasto. Green.
Oh, this was like green pastures. Green pasture, this color was called. So that's the yarn. It does feel soft for a cotton. We got 3 balls. That's all she had left. When they were doing this, people were like, I want that, and I grabbed
really
these.
soft.
Somebody actually else wanted them, and I managed to say I want them before they wanted them. But we got 3 of these.
I'm missing one.
Yeah. Very, very pretty color. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Green Pastures, it was called. And Jasmine just said it in another language, but I remember that's what she said because I had to email. So the only way to buy from this lady, she does have a website, Vero's Crochet Adventures, but the only way to buy this yarn is to see it on YouTube. Maybe if you email her, she would show you pictures, but you email her, tell her what you want, and she'll ask you to pay her. She'll give you an invoice. She wants your address so she can figure out the best shipping cost for you, and then she'll invoice you. It didn't take very long to get here. I did not have a tracking number for it, and it just sort of arrived one day. I think it was maybe a week. I don't
even know if it was that long.
Yeah, she didn't take very long to send it. Now the box it came in, that's her YouTube, but it says Houston Craft Boutique. So this came from Houston, Texas, and it took like a week from the time I ordered it, paid for it, and she got back pretty quickly to me for an invoice too, and the shipping wasn't that.
I don't know
what.
I have no idea what
the shipping cost. It was only a couple dollars. It wasn't very much.
Where do we
to ship.
put cotton yarn?
So that's the yarn. I can't wait for one of us to try to make something with it, but it's very, very pretty. Love the color.
Make something.
Yeah, very pretty. All right.
Not really.
That's the only acquisition we have, right?
I think so.
Yeah, pretty sure.
What did you want to use this for?
I don't know.
Oh.
All right.
I'm just gonna pop it on in here. So things we've been up to.
Things we've been up to.
Wow. I can answer this for both of us. I got a game on the PS4, but also ended up getting it on PC because it was on sale, called Graveyard Digger. And I told her she should try playing it. And so she has been playing that on the PS4.
Yep, play that a little bit. It's sort of just like it's almost like a farming game, and it's different.
Yeah, it's like a
it's
a simulation
it's ridiculous
game.
What it is.
It's fun. I enjoy it. If you like if you're a person who's ever played Stardew Valley and you like it, you might like this. It's a interesting.
I can't even say I like this game, but I keep playing this game.
I like it, but I enjoy like farming simulation games and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I keep playing it, but I think it's because I'm one of those people that's like, oh, I was given another task, I need to do it, and so I just keep playing it. And then it's like, but to do that task, I need that task. How do I do that task? And I love puzzle solving. Like, I love puzzles. That's probably one of my favorite things with the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
is the puzzles and the beauty scenery. By the way, this is not beautiful scenery in this.
It's like it's medieval. I would say it's like a medieval. It's meant to look medieval, and it looks great. Now, it looks cool. I love it. I think it's a beautiful game. It's not
beautiful for what
it's supposed to fit a certain aesthetic, and it fits it, and it does it wonderfully.
But I love puzzles, so like, keep challenging me, and I keep playing it. It's sort of crazy. Yeah, I don't know that I've been doing much more. Still trying to take care of our doggie. She is not feeling well today.
Yep, she's
yeah, I think she's getting a little worse now. We were hopeful that she was staying stable for a while, but she's definitely not as good today. So yeah, so just still taking care of our puppy until she can no longer be here, but we're loving her up. That's what we do. I come home and I do that and crochet and knit and love up the puppy, and occasionally later on. Yesterday I was really lazy and I played that game.
Oh yes, she did.
I was so tired. I could have slept all day and I didn't want to, so instead I played that stupid game.
I've had a headache. I've had a headache for 2 days, so I haven't gotten much done outside of being lazy because of having a headache. So, but I've read since last time. I've read all of the Heartstopper graphic novels that are out from Alice Osman. I read something else, but I don't remember what it was. I went through and I keep a reading journal on the iPad, as well as a Excel thing for statistics of reading. And I went and fixed all of that and have that ready for this year's reading stuff. And I also got my digital planner ready for this year and have been filling things out for this year's.
All right.
I like organizing.
Future goals for the next
I should write this down.
between the podcast. I want to keep working. I am not going to say I'm finishing anything. I am going to keep working as I choose and enjoy on my knitted sweater. I really would like to get down to the part where I can start ribbing. Well, maybe that'll be a goal for next time, that I at least get down to where I can do ribbing. To continue on the hybrid knit along shawl. And definitely finish this section on that mosaic blanket and continue on. I won't promise that I'll get it done, but the section, yes, I need that section done. I need it out of my way. It's what I need. The house section, need to get that finished. And then to figure out exactly my goals for this year. I have things in my head, but yeah, we're gonna do a separate video on that, kind of like our goals for the year. Your goals for the next podcast?
I have a goal of 1, which it's technically a goal for this month, but I'm hoping that I can just do it before the next podcast. So like within like hopefully a week. We've been getting very off schedule with filming. But finish my second sock. I also would like to finish the section that I'm on for this shawl. And also, I have a goal of like trying to get like 700 stitches done each week, or about 700 stitches done each week on my cross stitch, my Doctor Who cross stitch specifically. So I would also like to do that, but that's just a weekly thing also.
All right, that's our goals.
Yep.
What are your goals? What are you working on? I know one of our fiber friends just let us know that she got some yarn from Knit Crate before they closed, and she's going to try and knit a shawl now, and she hasn't made one before, so
Ooh,
I am so excited for her.
Oh, was that the comment?
Yes.
I didn't see.
So
I didn't read it yet.
For her. And I can't wait to find out how she's doing. So many people that we watch have been trying new things, and we tried new things this past year, and I think
I tried so many new things.
Yeah, we learned a lot, and I just think that's great. We just keep growing together and encouraging each other, and I just think that's amazing.
You got so much better at knitting this year.
Yeah, I think, we've had a great year as far as that goes. All right, everybody, we are going to let you go, and we hope that you enjoyed this. Give us a little thumbs up if you did, and please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you are interested in more content, and we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching us again and supporting our channel. Everybody take care. Bye.
Bye.